That's what people kept saying after that day at the Navy base gym. The day a world-renowned admiral challenged the janitor to a friendly spar. Cameras were rolling. Officers were laughing. Nobody expected much from the man in the faded overalls pushing a mop. But when the bell rang, everything changed. What happened in that ring didn't just shock the Navy officers. It exposed something deeper about strength, humility, and the hidden battles people fight behind quiet eyes. This is the story of Jack Mercer, a single dad and janitor who reminded everyone, including a proud Navy Admiral, that real power doesn't always wear medals. The Navy gym was alive that morning. The sound of gloves smacking against heavy bags echoed through the air. Men in perfect uniforms laughed, sparred, and flexed. And in the corner, mopping up a spill near the weight racks, was Jack Mercer, tall, quiet, with hands roughened by years of hard work, not war. To the officers, he was invisible, just the janitor. Jack didn't mind. He'd taken the job 2 years ago after losing his wife to cancer and needing something steady for his 8-year-old daughter, Lila. Between school runs, night shifts, and bills that never seemed to stop, he had little time for himself. But once, long ago, he'd been something else. A boxer. A good one. He never spoke of it. Not even when the younger sailors joked about his mop technique looking like shadowboxing. That morning, Admiral Raymond Holt, a decorated Navy officer known for his sharp discipline and even sharper tongue, entered the gym. He was preparing for a charity boxing exhibition that weekend and needed a sparring partner. None of the recruits wanted to face him. They knew his punches weren't just for show. "Hey, Jack!" one of the younger officers shouted, grinning. "Why don't you step in? The Admiral needs a warm-up." Laughter spread through the gym. The Admiral turned, smirking slightly. "For fun, son. Think you can keep up?" Jack looked up from his mop. He hesitated, his eyes flicking to the floor, then to the ring. He hadn't fought in years. His body still remembered, but his life had long since left that behind. Still, something about the Admiral's tone, not cruel but condescending, stirred something deep in him. "Just for fun, sir?" Jack asked softly. "Of course," Holt replied, already wrapping his hands. "No hard feelings." Jack smiled faintly. No hard feelings. When Jack stepped into the ring, the laughter got louder. He didn't have gloves of his own, so they lent him a pair. They were too tight, worn out. The Admiral bounced on his toes, confident and loose. "Ready, janitor," he taunted. Jack simply nodded. The bell rang. In the first 10 seconds, Holt came in fast, throwing crisp, textbook jabs. Jack moved his head just enough. Nothing fancy, just calm, measured slips. The crowd chuckled. Then the Admiral threw a right cross. Jack countered, short, smooth, like instinct. A simple step-in and a body shot that thudded. Holt froze for half a second, surprised. Then it happened again. And again. The laughter stopped. Within a minute, the Admiral was breathing heavy, sweat dripping down his temple. Jack hadn't thrown anything hard. Just clean, precise shots that spoke of years in the ring. His eyes, calm and sad, told stories of nights spent fighting for more than victory. Fighting for survival. By the second round, it wasn't a spar anymore. It was a lesson. Jack wasn't there to embarrass anyone. But his quiet control, his respect, and the sheer humility with which he carried himself changed the air in that gym. When the bell finally rang, the Admiral's hand dropped, and he smiled, really smiled. "Where'd you learn to fight like that, son?" he asked, breathing heavily. Jack gave a faint grin. "Life, sir. Life teaches you to keep your hands up." Laughter returned, this time, genuine. But something deeper shifted. For the first time, they saw him, not as the janitor, but as a man. Word spread fast. By the afternoon, people across the base were talking about how the janitor schooled the Admiral. Some exaggerated, some laughed, but most were just curious. That evening, as Jack was finishing his shift, Admiral Holt found him again, this time without the crowd. "You boxed before, didn't you?" he asked. Jack nodded. "A long time ago. Golden Gloves champ in my 20s. Stopped when my wife got sick." The Admiral was quiet for a moment. "I misjudged you," Happens more often than I'd like to admit. Jack shrugged. We all do it, sir. People see what they expect to see. Holt smiled slightly. You know, the Navy could use trainers like you. Men who fought real fights, not just in rings. Jack hesitated. I appreciate it, but my daughter needs me home. Holt nodded. Understood. She's lucky to have a man like you. A week later, the charity match came. Admiral Holt requested something special. His assistant coach for the day would be Jack Mercer. When Jack walked into that crowded gym in his faded work boots, nobody laughed this time. He stood behind the Admiral's corner, giving quiet instructions, calm and collected. The Admiral fought with a heart and humility that surprised everyone. When the match ended, win or lose didn't matter. Holt handed Jack the gloves. For Lila, he said softly. Tell her dad's the toughest man I've ever met. Jack's eyes glistened, his jaw tightening. Thank you, sir. That moment, caught on camera, went viral. Not because of a punch, but because of what it revealed. A simple truth. That greatness doesn't need titles. It needs heart. That night, Jack came home, found his daughter asleep on the couch, and gently placed the gloves beside her. She stirred, smiling in her sleep. He looked at the gloves, old, worn, yet shining under the light. He whispered, maybe it's time to fight again. For us. And from that day forward, no one at that base ever looked at a janitor, or anyone, the same way again. Because sometimes, the quietest men carry the loudest stories. And sometimes, the fight isn't about who hits hardest. It's about who keeps standing when life throws its hardest punch.